Hello and welcome everybody to another episode of In Bed with Comics. I'm your host and fellow comic, Kristen Tinsley. In bed with me tonight, I have a very special comic that some of you guys might not know, but we are going to spend the next half an hour getting to know him. He's pretty awesome. So, once upon a time, there was a funny ass comic that performed on the stages of Philadelphia Punchline, the Brokerage Gateway Comedy at Ronkonkoma, Fulton's Gate Comic Strip in Queens, and he opened for the first half of the New Jersey Drive Tour, and he is the host of Ain't That Something podcast, and he performed in Vermont Comedy Club. Everybody, please give a very warm and very friendly hello to Antonio Clark. What's up, man? How are you?
You. I'm still okay. Yeah, thank you. How's everything going?
It's going. How are you doing?
This is cool. I like this. I like how you changed it up and got a talk show and everything. I really like this.
Oh
This is
yeah,
nice.
I like talk shows. Talk shows are cool. It's fun
Yeah.
to talk to comics. I don't really get a chance to really talk to a lot of comics a lot of the time because we're always like so nervous and stuff like that on stage as it is. So that makes it a little difficult for everybody to like get to know each other and actually talk. But I've never met you before. Where are you from?
I'm from Roosevelt, Long Island. We did actually bump into each other. You just don't. It was probably a long time ago. Let me get my facts straight.
Wait. If you remember me, please God tell me that I didn't say something nasty because I'm really not a horrible person.
No. Speaking of nasty, our comics in bed. I got some prolonged condoms, and I also got some of them gas station Viagra pills. And I got the prolong spray just in case, since we're talking dirty.
And I got the vibrator right here. I got a whole drawstring right next to my nightstand. I don't know what I did with the condoms.
I got them gas station pills.
Are you serious?
The knockoff Viagra.
Have you ever taken something like that? Does that work? You didn't take it. But you put them out there to psych girls out. Like, do you put them out there and be like, hey baby, I'll be right back, and she's looking at it like, oh shit, this is gonna be a long night.
No, these suckers that have you outside breathing butt naked, trying to catch your breath.
Stop.
Why my heart racing?
Let me send my pubic hair out to get you. Oh my god, I didn't ever met anyone that ever had that in their jaw. Like, that's crazy. So you're from Roosevelt, Long Island. Oh, no. Tell me about when we met, because I really am curious to know what show is it.
Okay, I got to get my facts straight. You ever performed at Revolution in Amityville?
Yep.
Okay.
That was like one of my second or third performance.
Okay, was the headliner he was either African or Haitian?
Yeah, Carlo.
Okay. He was.
You were on that show?
No. I went with a friend of mine, and we were checking out the show. Me and my sister and a friend of hers went checking out the show. I saw you perform. You was very hilarious, by the way, very hilarious.
Thank you.
And then he was up, I think, a little bit after, and he was taking so long to get to his punchlines. You had the other table hysterically laughing, and I was looming in the background. I was like, "Yo, she is hilarious."
Thank you.
Your whole persona.
Like one of my very first. I don't think I didn't even have weight loss surgery at that point, or I had just had weight loss surgery at that point. Okay. So I'm still like a little shaky, like getting back into it. But I love Carlo. He's cool. He, of course, he works pretty hard on what he does, but he definitely likes to produce a lot of shows. So, that was that was fun. I think that was the night that Jim Ray got on stage with the dildo hanging out of his pants.
Yes.
And I don't think that went over well.
No. It didn't go over too well.
People thought that like his dick was really hanging out of his pants. Like that's what that's what I thought. That's what it was. That's really what I thought.
Yeah, it was funny though. It was funny. Like I saw you and I was like, wow. But after that, I never bumped into you again though.
It depends on where you. I'm always usually at Coasters. They have an open mic there on Tuesday. I do a lot of shows at a Governor's. I'm trying to do more shows in the city, but I don't know what's going to happen now because I was actually supposed to do a show with Adam Parsons at Revolution I think in February, but it got canceled. So
Mine did too. I was supposed to be with him March 25th. Mine got canceled.
I think it may have been the March 25th show. So then we would have been on because I didn't know who was on that show. So
Okay.
I didn't know, who, but so that's really crazy. So how long have you been doing comedy for?
I've been doing comedy for about 3 years, on and off, because I came from Instagram into stand-up comedy.
Whoa, whoa, whoa. Now that is a flip flop. Because I know you like to do skits, so we definitely need to like talk outside of this because I have like a band of brothers that I like to work with. Well, like two of them
Okay.
that I like to work with that like to do skits, and I totally have access to like a television studio and stuff like that. So and
Nice.
film skills and editing skills and all that. So which I think you do too. So that's like
A little bit, but
yeah,
that's mainly my strong point was Instagram. And I started like I always loved the art form of comedy, like stand-up comedy. I always loved the art form. So
right.
Somebody was like, we was talking, he was like, you should try open mic. And I was like, no, I'm not with that. So we was making jokes, and this one guy who was with us at the bar, he was like, listen, I run a mic. Would you like to come down? See, I didn't know the difference between an open mic and a show.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So when I got to the open mic, it was cool. I did my thing. It was great.
Right.
So then he was like, you know what? I got a show coming up next week. Would you be interested in the show? And at this point, I was high off my confidence. I said, yeah, I'll kill a show. That's nothing. And the show came up. I had got a new outfit for the show, and I thought it was my own HBO Netflix special. And I got up there, and I went up there with all new material, and I started telling these jokes. And like, I wish I would have got booed or heckled, but silence was like, I started hearing the wait staff in the back mixing up the drinks and stuff. That's how quiet it was in there.
It couldn't have been that bad.
It was bad. I lost train of thought.
Where was the show?
The show was actually in Harlem. It was showing Harlem.
Harlem's a tough area though. Like you can't judge it on Harlem will always be like that's the town of the Apollo Theater. They're gonna judge everybody very harshly.
Yes.
If you're not Eddie Murphy or Richard Pryor, you're a piece of shit. Like nobody gets welcomed in Harlem. It just doesn't happen.
It was a rough one, right? It was definitely a rough one. So from there, I still was in love with comedy. And then I went and my mother actually told me, oh, you ever take a class? I'm like, take a class? It's class for comedy? And she was like, yeah. And that's how I got associated with, familiar with Rich Walker and Peter Bell's class. I took that class.
So you got associated with the right people then.
Right. I took that
Rich
class.
Walker is like, I love him. He's the best.
Yeah, he's a funny guy. He's hilarious.
I've never met Peter Bales, but he's married to my friend Peter. So
okay, he's good. He's a good guy. He's funny. He's hilarious too. Yeah. So out of that, we took the class, and the class was like 8 weeks, and they showed me joke structure and format. So I knew how to write and structure a joke, so which was really good. And then out of that, I came out of that class. It was me, Ali Walker.
I love her. She's another great one. Yeah.
She's a sleeper. I kind of slept on her because she was that quiet person, and she was real quiet, and she's trying to put her jokes together and stuff like. But when she took off, she took off. I mean, she really took off. I mean, she actually inspired me to come back because for a while I stopped. And she inspired me to come back. Me and her had a conversation. We ran into each other, a little conversation. And from there on, like, she's good.
Yeah, she's always been there. She's always got a smile on her face. She always makes me so happy because it doesn't matter how many shows I do, which I haven't done a lot, but I do produce a lot of shows. And I still get very like I can't, like trying to like get everything together and trying to get everybody together and trying to talk to people. And you got other comics coming on shows. Like, so it's like, all right, listen, I always have, room for her. So she's actually on my Real Comedy Wives of Long Island show.
Okay, cool.
Supposed to be a couple months ago, but now that got canceled. So I'm gonna have to do that at a future date.
Okay, with the whole epidemic and everything, yeah.
Yeah, I'm really disappointed in that. I wish I could do it live, but it's just not the same. Like if I could do it like through Zoom, it's not the same. But you have experience coming from Instagram because it's the other way around. Like we try to do Like I struggle with even doing TikTok videos. Like I see all these people doing stuff and I'm like, yeah, but I'm not like that. Like I don't have that much time during the day to make like, some of those videos are hard. Like I'm like, what do you mean I gotta like change my outfit and jump around? Like I can't do that. I'll fall to the fucking floor. I don't have any outfits. Like what the hell? Like how is the transition going from Instagram to open mic?
See, I would never do an open mic like on video on Zoom because I feed off an audience. Like I learned to feed off an audience.
Right.
Even when I started doing comedy, and I used a lot of Instagram connections. Like I got hooked up with Just Hilarious.
Okay.
And being hooked up with her was pretty cool. Like I had stalked her brother, the guy she performed with, Desi, and I hounded him and I was like, listen, if y'all need a ride anywhere or I'm willing to pay the tolls, I'm willing, as long as I get I just want 3 minutes. 3 minutes. And he finally was like, okay, come down.
Wow.
So I went out to Caroline's and me and my sister, and we got lost. We took the wrong train and got lost. It started raining. I got there, it was too late. She was like, the most I could do is I'm gonna take a picture with you, and that's it. I'm like, oh, so I knew what type of person she was. So I knew who she was seeing. So the minute she went to hug me for a picture, I said, the guy she was dating was Country Wade at the time. I said, is Country gonna get mad? And she was like, oh, this little asshole. So the next night she's like, give him a couple of minutes, get him here, give him a couple of minutes and put him on. So I wound up opening, like I was part of an opener for her. I did like 3 minutes and I was switched off to the side and somebody else came on. But that was so great. Like that was like one of my
you have to have I know that comedy school teaches you to have like 5 minutes or like a solid 5 minutes or whatever, but see how you got 3 minutes. If you don't know how to break down, if you don't have, now I realize why you need like certain like little jokes. Not everything has to be like a story, because if you say you only get a minute, 2 minutes, like I have to make a video later that can't be longer than 3 minutes.
Right.
So I either need to talk fast or I need to, or just kind of, because 3 minutes actually, is kind of a long time, but it's good to be prepared where you have 3 minutes, 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 15 minutes, 20 minutes. Because then you don't know what's going to be thrown at you,
Right.
So, but what did you have success on Instagram? I mean, have you now that you go back and forth like TikTok, do you do stuff like that?
I don't do TikTok. Like I said, my auntie got a cooking segment, right? And she got more followers than me and everything. And she's a stuttering crackhead, so that tells you how my Instagram career is going.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Listen, yeah.
That's going pretty good. I don't like it. It goes pretty good. Like, I was watching a show of yours last week, and I seen like when I watched your show, I kind of like talked to you a little bit in my head, and you seem to like come back and disagree. And they was talking about. See, I almost said we. You was talking about top 5 comics, as I remember. And I forgot you was talking to. I ran into him too. He's a really funny guy. The guy you was talking to
on Tuesday.
It was a while back. It was I think
probably Nigel.
Yes, he's hilarious.
Nigel or John Battle.
I bumped into him a long time ago. Yeah, it was Nigel. Nigel. Yeah, I bumped into him like
Nigel.
3 or 4 years ago. He was hilarious though. Definitely hilarious. But like when you was giving your 5 top, I had a question for you. I wanted to know who are your top 5 underrated comics.
Oh, Jesus Christ. John Leguizamo.
Okay.
I feel like, he kind of like gets lost in the mix of acting. Jim Carrey.
Okay.
He's an underrated comic, even though he's a stand-up comic. Let's see, number 3, Monique.
Okay.
I don't think that she gets as much attention as she should. Let's see, number 4.
It could be somebody local too. Well, somebody
Somebody I know, Matthew Solomon. He's a great comic that people definitely don't give enough attention to. And my friend Teresa Farrell. She's amazing comic. She's a fucking boss when it comes to doing her TV show that she has. I don't know if you ever met her.
No.
She does Tea Time with Teresa. She used to do it through Governors. Now she does it through Strong Island TV. But she's a really, really good comic. And I kind
Really?
of feel like, not that she's underrated, it's just kind of like, all right, it's you just get to like a certain point, where people, where you have all these young people doing it, but you have all these other people that have been doing it for a long time also, and she's taught me a lot about comedy. So,
Right.
that's definitely somebody who I, think that definitely doesn't, not that she doesn't get she gets the recognition, but it's from the people that don't say anything. Where
Yeah.
it's just kind of like, they're sitting there and they're watching, but they don't acknowledge it. And
Right.
so I'm gonna acknowledge it,
Oh, okay. No, that's amazing. That's extraordinary. I like that. Yeah,
There's a
I
lot of
like it.
underrated comics out there. Believe me, there are so
Yeah.
many, and that's the problem when you're in a community of comics and somebody's really, really good, they're not gonna let you know that. Or if
Right.
you do like a lot of things for people, they're not going to be like, oh, hey, yeah, like this person's really cool, this person's really nice, because then that's somebody else in their way of taking an opportunity for themselves. So I kind of feel like there's always going to be a little bit of like, you know, competition there. So there's not a
Right.
lot of it.
Oh, okay. Well, I felt a different way about Long Island. Like when I first was out there after I did the class and I was pounding the pavement trying to like I felt Long Island to me was very cliquish
Yeah,
and kind of
everybody says that. Mhm.
closed off. I couldn't get a job in Long Island to save my life. I couldn't get a show in Long. Like that's when like I
Why
started
you hit
going.
me
You know,
up?
I really didn't have no connections. I didn't have no know how. So that's when I started hitting the road. Like I started actually hitting the road, started DMing comics, and like if you need a ride, I will take you. That's how I started getting around and moving around. And then
Okay.
like when I kind of like said, oh, I'm kind of like I couldn't get in. I said I'm kind of done, but I'm still enjoy comedy. But I was kind of done, and I got back out there to open mic. I used to run into Johnny at all the open mics at Crabtree. Johnny I'm gonna kill his last name. McDonald, John.
Johnny McDonald. That's the right
Right.
person to run into.
And he's a
And
great
he'll know.
dude. He's a great guy. He's another one. He's a sleeper.
Yeah.
And
He's another,
Sean,
what? There's my sixth underrated comic because he's freaking hilarious.
he's hilarious. And
Yep.
Sean's hilarious too.
Who's
I
Sean
bump
Brown?
yes, I used to bump into
Okay.
Sean. I used to tease Sean because Sean he used to be a little heavy. Now he slimmed down. And I said, Sean, you look like Puffy that swallowed Chris Rock. Because he sounds just like if you close your eyes, he sounds just like Chris Rock to me.
I think he actually used that joke
But
on
he looks
stage.
like Sean, he looks like
He
Puff Daddy.
used that.
He did?
He did. Yes, he did. Because I was about to say, wait a minute, like, where did I hear that joke? Where did I hear that joke before? He said it. You got to be careful what
All
you
I
say to
know
a
is
comic. They will repeat it.
oh no, I never saw Sean. Sean and me used to be at the open mic at Crabtree. I never saw Sean. I saw Sean perform once or twice, but like to me in the beginning, all Sean jokes was masturbation jokes. Like every
Yeah,
last his jokes, but I never heard him say. But I always said like I said, this guy looks like a cross between Puff Daddy and Chris Rock.
he does.
Like his voice
Yeah.
was like Chris Rock. He's a good kid though. He's going there. So I'm like, wow, this kid is gonna really be somewhere. That's what from what I see and what I think. But yeah, so I used to bump into them two at the open mics all the time. And then like I was kind of like I couldn't get into Long Island, like how you guys get a show, how you get a show. And nobody would tell me. And I wound up wanting to refresh a lot of my jokes because I got away from the way I wrote. I was lazy. And I saw on Facebook, I saw Rob Koff's class.
Yeah.
And Rob, he's an awesome guy. He
I
is.
took his class once and I'm like, all right, I'm definitely gonna go back. Like, I'm a little shy about it, but I'm definitely gonna go back.
He's an awesome guy. Like I went and met. Rode all the way out to Run. I used to drive out to Ronkonkoma every
He does
Tuesday.
it online now.
Yeah, I was in his first classes, and
Yeah.
then all of a sudden I became an essential worker. I'm about as essential as an umbrella in the cocktail.
What do you
But
do?
also, I work for Parks and Recreation. So now for the last 3 weeks, they said, oh, now you guys can start back working. So I was attending his classes. Then I had to stop because my hours are all over the place. And they said, oh, you're now essential. I'm like, yeah, okay. I'm
Yeah,
essential.
I saw the Parks Recreation guys today actually because I sit in the parking lot by the school around my house.
Okay.
Just, like sit there and like stare out the window, and I saw them out there. And they were just basically like talking, drinking coffee, and then they just left. Like I think they they did something, and then they just
Guys put in a
left.
full day then.
I was like,
That's
all
a
right,
full
well,
day.
listen, if you're getting paid, you know, it's better than sitting home. I mean, honestly, like I'm going out of my head. Like it's absolutely crazy just to like sit in the house. Like I worked so much. I worked 2 jobs, and I was just in and out of the house, and it gets depressing, you know, to have to really think about the reality of what this is.
Right.
You
Yeah.
know, and I know that everybody's like, oh, it's gonna get better and this and that. And it's like, yeah, but are they gonna get better? Like, and now you're talking about aliens too? Like, are you slowly like, is that why the toilet paper's selling out? Because we're all gonna shit our pants? Knowing that, you know, the president's just gonna be like, yeah, drink bleach, that's how they can't get you. Like, come on, like, is this what's gonna happen? They're just gonna, you know, break it out and be like, yeah, by the way, we're under attack by aliens. But if you think about it, we really are actually.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
It's
my
it's
God.
so crazy what they're saying and what they're not saying. But like I actually went to Rob's class out in Ronkonkoma before a while back, few months ago before everything went crazy. And he's like a dope, he's a really good guy. He's a dope, you know, he kind of like he'll hear your joke and he'll say, that's good. And then he'll structure it a little bit for you to think about it, saying, how can I make this joke better?
Right. Instead of telling you what to say, which
Right,
I
right.
structures it. Well, what if you said it this way? Or how if
Yes,
you did it like what if you added this or took this away? You know what I
yes,
mean? That's what I like about him, and that's how I like about Rich Walker. Because
right,
I don't like somebody to tell me, no, you have to say things this way because I don't
right.
like to be told what to do. Like that's something that I just, you know, I am the way I am. You know, I didn't never took comedy classes. The only person that ever really taught me like how to structure a joke was Nigel. When like he
Okay.
like pulled me aside, was like, hey, this is how you tell a joke. And I'm like, oh, it's like writing an essay. And then I figured out like, okay, so now but I have to keep practicing. So
And each couple of times you take more words away and take more words
oh
away.
yeah, I definitely take. I'm like, do I really need that word? No, I don't need this word. And then
Yeah.
before I know it, I have, you know, quick, you know, jokes. So I find it to be very, very easy. So, you know, so on a scale of 1 to 10, how much do you like stand-up comedy?
It would be a 10. I love it. It's a rush. It's like a crack rush, though. It doesn't last long because you're fiending for your next hit. So yeah, I love it. I'm nervous when I'm up there. I'm sweating everywhere. And then once I'm in my groove and I'm comfortable telling a joke, it's over and I'm looking for my next high. So I
I
love
usually
it.
want to pass out after like I'm done. Like I
No,
had my
I
energy is like done.
I don't talk to nobody beforehand. Like it'll be a bunch of comics, and right before I'm going up, I'm not talking to none of them. I'm like staying in
Right.
my mind. I like to I opened for not open while I was on his show, Mike Dillon. You know Mike Dillon?
Yeah.
He put me on Teddy Smith's show.
Oh, Teddy Smith's another good one. Yeah.
Oh, he's a legend.
Yeah.
He is under he's a legend.
Yeah.
He
I would
and
never say that Teddy's an underrated comic. I just
no,
don't.
no, no.
I
He's
know that
phenomenal.
yeah, no, I know that he's very quiet. Like the ones that are really, really good that people are like, oh yeah, yeah, this one's really good. They're very quiet with themselves. They're very to themselves, and they just keep it that way. You know, they know
Yeah,
who they
and
are. They know what they got, and that's it. You know. So, but yeah.
yeah, it's dope. And Sean Crawford, is another comic. He was on a couple of things. He gave me some advice. He said, "Don't ever sit in the green room or back room." He said, "Sit in the audience and watch the audience. That way, you know when it's your turn to go up, you know what the audience is looking for, how to
Right.
react to them, how to feed off. Because sometimes you may get a crowd. Like, say you're a female comic. I feel now with females, it's more like y'all could tell the sex jokes better. Y'all, it would be received better coming from you guys than it would be coming from a man with
That
the whole.
depends because it depends on the sex jokes because, you know, it depends on it. Like I probably could say something really nasty and perverted and get away with it.
Right.
But it depends on what I say, you
Yes.
know, because I feel like even as a female comic, like sometimes you see the shit I post on my Facebook page, okay? And I feel like even then, like some people take me seriously or they like judge me, and I'm like, dude, I'm kidding. Like it's a joke. Like I'm a comic. Like what do you mean? Like you know, I'm not serious when I say stuff like this most of the time. So you know, but yeah, I mean, it's hard to be a female single comic because what do I have to talk about? I have to talk about being single. I can't, you know, what am you talk about what you know.
Right.
I don't want to talk about politics and stuff like that because I can't
No, I'm
afford
not a
cable. I don't have the
politician.
news.
Comic. Yeah. See, my type of comedy, I cater to like what's going on. So now that there's nothing really going on, my whole my writing vibe is kind of dead right now because I usually go over pop culture, like what's going on in pop culture, how stupid it is to me. That's what I base a lot of my jokes off of and stuff. But now that everything is kind of dumbed down and and
right.
everybody's panicking and, like you said, buying toilet paper and scared to touch each other. I think it's because of the toilet paper shortage. People are scared to touch each other. But
yeah, that's a
I don't know.
joke. See,
I don't know
write
who
it
wipes.
down. That's a joke, though. Write it down.
Yeah,
You definitely take that, use that. I
yeah,
mean, don't let the fact that nothing's going on stop you, because this is the time when people are home and they're paying attention.
right.
I'm gonna get tired of, because some people just jumped on this horse and just been on the get. They everyone's looking for something new. People get bored with the same old thing all the time. So definitely make sure that you keep putting yourself out there, especially since you have that Instagram experience.
Yeah, I'm always like I pay more attention to Instagram than Facebook, so I'm always like putting out new. I put more stuff out, more videos and stuff on Instagram than it
Right.
is on Facebook. Facebook, I sprinkle a little here and there, but not too much. And
Right. You could do both. I mean, it's nice that you could actually do both. I started putting some of my videos. I want to make videos. I want to do little funny stuff, but it's just kind of like, it's
gotta put yourself out. You know what I used to do? Like my first video, and it went crazy. Like my first video, I woke up. I used to post my video at like 2 a.m. That way, I wouldn't have to see nobody reaction. And I'll wake
yeah.
up
I
the
don't like
next
that.
morning,
Yeah.
and I would check my Instagram, and like I checked one time, I had like over 1,000 views. I'm like, are you? And it was like I was when I started Instagram was the 15-second videos.
Oh,
So I had to come up with a
that was fun.
concept, act it out in 15 seconds, and then they extended it to 30. Now I think we're at a minute and some change. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Now I think it's a little bit more. So, all right. So, do you have a favorite comic that inspired you?
I have several favorite comics that inspired me, but I gotta say, for the most part, that really got me into comedy would be and is D.L. Hughley. D.L. Hughley is one of my favorites, and Charlie Murphy is actually one of my favorites.
I feel like Charlie Murphy, and I know that I'm probably going to get crucified for saying this, but I feel like Charlie Murphy was definitely better than Eddie Murphy. Just
Okay, I
saying,
mean, I can.
the characters, the laugh. I mean, just the laugh alone is with, like, I don't know.
I think it was like one morning I was watching Comedy Central. It was like 2 a.m. That's when I really fell in love with Charlie Murphy, and Charlie was imitating Caesar, the dog guy.
Yeah,
And I was crying. I never heard something so. And he imitated him to the T. And then he started talking about Roosevelt, how you need a passport to get in Roosevelt because now it's a third world country. It was just crazy to me. Yes, he's one of
Your
my.
friend Diana was like, "Hey, Antonio Clark, we love you. Can't wait until this is over. We can't wait to come out and see you again." Ooh.
Oh, definitely.
It's always nice to have that. Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you, and
definitely.
thank you for everybody for watching. I appreciate it. All right. So if there was a comedy made about your life, which comic would play you, or which actor would play you?
I would like Seth Rogen to play me.
Seth Rogen, really?
Yes.
So
Yes.
you grunt a lot?
Yes, I just like the way I like his whole thing because I think like his movie Observe and Report was like hilarious gold, and like a lot of people didn't see it, but I think if you get a chance to check it out, he would be one of the top people.
I always confuse him with the other guy, the other heavy blonde guy, the one that was in the remake of 21 Jump Street.
Oh, the other kid, yeah, I know who you're talking about.
When he was in
He's
there
hilarious.
explaining
The
like
one
how
with
he had
Channing
like,
Tatum,
oh,
yeah,
fuck the
yeah, yeah. But if somebody
What?
black was to play me, I think it would be Deion Cole. I would love Deion Cole to play me.
Okay, that would
What
be
about
cool.
yourself?
Oh God, I don't think there's anyone in the world that could play Kristen Tinsley but Kristen Tinsley.
Okay,
I'm just
see.
that. I mean, I'm just
See, you just gotta put yourself
give
around a
me a
great acting
script.
staff.
Yeah,
Yeah,
give me
yeah.
a script. I'll do it. Oh, I'm actually going to start doing that because I never. I mean, I grew up in a time where if you weren't this skinny blonde girl with a size 0, you didn't get an acting role. And now it's like if you've seen some of these, people on there. So I'm like, you know what? I took acting 101. I'm ready.
Okay, so that's
Yeah.
the movie you would want to produce. So, like, what would be your passion of a screenplay?
Oh, Jesus Christ. For about me?
Yes, or just in general. In general, like, what's your passion project?
You're asking a writer about their passion project. I should kill you. Right now, I am working on a screenplay about COVID-19, about a family that's working, to actually get thrown together in COVID-19. That's probably take about 5 minutes to write that.
Okay.
My passion project that I really would really like to get off the ground very much is my book Fins, my teen romance book about
Okay.
a mermaid. But there's a surprise twist in that, so I like that. And I also definitely want to finish writing the screenplay. The Sun Will Come Out, and that is a script about it's one day the sun just doesn't come out, and
Okay.
all the craziness that happens after that.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, it's a
Okay.
really really good story. I love it. So I mean, I write so many things at the same time. I don't just write one project. I can write like probably like up to 10 things. So like the idea is like just don't stop. So it's just kind of like flooding my brain all the time. And before it was just kind of like, all right, like I'm gonna do nothing. So comedy was always easy for me because it's like, okay, I could do 5-10 minutes worth of material, I could be creative and I can get it over with.
Right.
When it comes to writing, there's so much to it. But now it's just kind of like, all right, I have all this free time. I literally have all day. I can break down all my projects and do it. Plus I host a TV show also. So but
Okay.
you host
Cool.
something too. You host a podcast, right?
Yeah, we're coming back tonight. Actually, tonight is season 2, so we'll be back tonight, and it's all about like the ups and downs and what's going on in the world and the life of a comic. So, like, so
Cool.
it's pretty cool. Yeah.
I
So,
like that. Who do you host it with? You host it with a female.
yeah, I hosted with my sister.
Oh, your sister.
Right,
Okay.
and we're looking for a
Cool.
third. So when we start back up, we'll be looking for a third. So we're gonna
Yeah.
get someone to do more of like my sister focuses on relationships and stuff like that, and we're
Oh,
looking for somebody to
I'm
do.
definitely gonna have to hit her up because I would love to be a guest on that show about that shit. Because there is
Okay.
some stuff on Plenty of Fish that some of these guys need to be schooled on how to talk to women because
She
I
wants
come
to.
across some stuff and I'm like, are you freaking kidding me right now? Like, really?
She got a segment coming up called "They Need to Learn." Men ain't
Oh,
shit. They need to learn.
let me know. I will get on there and definitely I will let you. I have a list. I have all my text messages for these dudes that were lucky enough to get my phone number. And I'm like, you need to learn to stop asking women why they're single. Like, oh, well, like an interview. Oh, so what brings you to Plenty of Fish? And why are you single? Like, really? Like, are you serious? Like, why am I single? Do you want me to show you where I hit his fucking body for the last really? And then when I say this to them, they get like, yeah, it's just, I mean, this guy asked me for my phone number today. He's like, oh, this is no way for adults to be communicating with each other. Like, we should have to be communicating back and forth with this. So I'm like, all right, let me test out my theory. So I gave him my phone number, thinking he's going to call me, right? Or at least I expected him to call me. He sends me a text message. And I'm like, all right, so what was the difference between you texting me on Plenty of Fish or you texting me by phone if you're not going to pick up the phone and go, boy, bye, bye,
Yeah,
bye.
nothing really real to say. That's what it was.
Oh, it's awful. So, are you
Yeah.
married? Do you have children?
No, no.
No. And you're saying that like you don't want them. Like you're saying like you're smacking away with your beard.
No, I probably would want children, but see, I'm at the age where I think I don't want to be that old guy in kindergarten nodding off.
I know.
And
Yeah.
somebody asking my kid, "Is that your daddy?" No, that's my grandfather.
Yeah. I'm almost 40 years old. Like I don't want to have to go with like because if you think about it, like a 20-year-old can have a 5-year-old or a 25-year-old, and here I am at like because I'm almost 40. Like if I were to have a kid, be like 41, 42. Like I'm gonna be pretty old by the time they're in kindergarten. It sucks.
Yeah,
Unless I
but
just dump generations and just adopt a 10-year-old, I could do that.
probably
So
get them younger before they become a little cuckoo. But yeah, you gotta.
there's plenty of children out there that need homes, they need adoption.
Yeah,
So
definitely,
I'm
definitely.
not worried about that, but I want nice things in life. I want a career. I want other things. That's my thing. So not every woman
Oh,
wants children. You just get to that. It's not that I don't want them, but I'm a school bus driver in my real life, and it's
okay.
always a challenge.
Yeah, yeah. Kids can be vicious.
Kids can be a little bit. And I think of these poor parents, and I see how happy they are. I see how miserable they are when they walk out the front door, and then as soon as they get on the bus and the door closes, it's just like totally different person, and they just walk into the driveway like, yes, and it's like I don't want to feel that way about a human being that I gave birth to.
Right, right, right. The kid is the best. I understand.
So you have a complete. We've already talked about the comic that you saw, Bob, and I think he's come up on the show a couple times, and I really hope he's not listening. But he probably is. Do you have a joke that everybody loves that you just completely and totally kill it? Like everybody's like, "Hey, man, I really like that joke that you did."
No, I have a like a controversial joke. It's a joke about like a transgender, but I don't reveal it's a transgender all the way through to the end of the joke.
Uh,
And like I thought it was gonna go off bad, and it wound up going off pretty good. Like a lot of people like it and gravitate toward it. So I said,
what's the
okay, but
joke? Tell a joke.
oh my god, it's an
Right on
old
the
joke.
side, there's a microphone right there. Don't play, brother. Don't play.
All right. I was talking, I was, oh my God, I haven't done this joke in so long. I said, being in my mid 40s is rough. I recently went for a prostate exam and I was horrified by the experience. And I'm telling my coworkers all about it. And there's this one woman named Barbara. She's there with her phone. That's nothing. You ever walk 10 blocks in heels? No. You ever wore a bra for more than 12 hours? No. You ever even been to a gynecologist? No. Wait a minute, Barbara, relax. You only been a woman for 3.5 weeks now. Cut it out. That's how that was the I said, I don't know who's the bigger dick, Caitlyn Jenner or Caitlyn Jenner or Barbara. That's how I used to end the joke. And
Oh my God, that's a good one. I like it. That's definitely.
yeah, like I wouldn't let you know to the end that it was a transgender, and they'd be like, "Oh, that's a trans joke," and it was so funny because it was a couple in the audience, and I was like, "Oh," but I didn't know it at the time.
Yeah,
But
but I mean, it's true because when I talk to people that are transgender, like you don't really know what it's like to go to the gynecologist and have to spread your legs open and slide down the table. You don't
right,
really know what it's like. Please go and experience that at any given time and let me know because it's kind of like, when you become a transgender and you get the full operation, you have this beautiful new vagina. I've had the same vagina for 38 years. Okay, like it doesn't look nice anymore. It's just kind of been there. It's got some wear and tear on it. You know what I mean? You got a brand new vagina, dude. It's not the same
she
thing.
got the new car smell.
It's not the new car smell. Mine's kind of like it's just I can't. People
So
try to tell vagina jokes. It's embarrassing.
do you have one? Like, do you have a killer joke that people love?
Yes, I have.
Okay.
I have my Lorena Bobbitt joke, and it is. Oh God, now I gotta think of it.
Let's go.
My Lorena Bobbitt joke. Okay. Ladies, if you're gonna stab, if you're gonna plot something against your man,
Mhm.
all right. The biggest mistake that Lorena Bobbitt made was that she used a knife. It's a dead giveaway. Your man starts acting up. Don't use a knife. You gotta let your toenails grow out, girls. Just start walking around the house with your slippers on so he don't know. Leave on a Sunday saying, "Oh, baby, I'm going to get a pedicure." He wants to start acting up, wants to start hiding money, wants to start texting other girls, wants to start smacking you around, telling you food tastes like shit. Let your toenails grow out, girls. And then one night when he's lying awake and it's hanging out, just whoop. Sorry, officer. I meant to get a pedicure, but I just haven't had any time. Everybody loves that one.
Yeah, that's yeah, I like
Up on a
that.
stage and do the with your foot is.
See how much joy comedy brings. Like it's nothing
Right.
like it. It's like
You're
nothing
right.
like it at
They
all.
love that. They love that one, and then everyone loves the Dr. Pimple Popper joke. Like, I mean, but they're not really jokes; they're stories. I like to tell funny stories,
Okay.
but I realized that I kind of have to do like when I did put up, shut up, or stand up, for governors. I realized that I needed to start doing like getting to the quicker because a lot of the judges that were judging me were those type of comics. So they're looking
Oh.
at me like, "Oh, this bitch is telling a story for like 5 minutes," and I'm like, "Yeah, but it's really funny once I get there." you know? So
You like the bang, bang, bang jokes, like the.
yeah, they like topic, premise, punch, which I get it, but anything could be like that. And then they're kind of teaching you to break away from the story a little bit because then you could break up your set. Like I have, I could say it's okay to say something. Like it's okay for me to say like, hey, how do you make a hoe a housewife?
Mm-hmm.
You're welcome. Love the coronavirus. And then I could go on to like something else, and talk about something else, and
Yeah.
then move on and move on, and then maybe go back to that topic or move on and move on. Like you're just up there and you're just talking, and like I've seen people do it. So, and those are like I saw a female comic do it one time. This girl did not take a breath. I don't even know
Wow.
her name, but like she just did not take a breath. So
Mm.
it was crazy, you know. But
Now, now, do you like to play off the audience? Like, do you like the feedback or like go into a story, ask someone's name? Do you like that part or do you?
I've only recently started to be able to do that after watching certain comics to be able to do that. Oh, hi Carlo! Yeah, we were talking about you, Carlo. I was watching. Hi Carlo. I've only recently been able to do that because I know that a lot of people that are in the audience really kind of don't want to be there and plus just listening to like other people talk. Because as a producer, you have to go out and you have to find people that actually want to come to the show. It's my
Right.
job. So, but a lot of people say, well, I really don't like coming to comedy shows because I don't like getting made fun of. So
Okay.
I kind of take it a little easy because I don't want to make somebody feel uncomfortable and make them kind of have to. But yeah, if I had done that joke like I just gave to you right now, yeah, I would walk up to somebody and say, hey, excuse me, sir, let me ask you a question. How do you make a hoe a housewife? And then I'll answer it, So I'll say that to him, or I'll be like, I'll walk up to somebody and be like, hey, are you a little tired of walking around smelling like a condom? Like I have no problem going up to people in the grocery store and asking them stuff like this. So I'm used to just so I know like what type of reaction I'm gonna get from somebody because everybody's not, every person you meet is a potential ass in your seat.
Right.
So if people like me and I laugh, it's like I'll walk around the grocery store and just start shouting shit out. Like they're talking about like Easter and everyone's walking around really depressed about, the virus and everything like that. And I just like stopped in the middle of the aisle and I'm like, who the fuck cares about Easter? And everyone just started laughing and blowing. And my sister's in the grocery store and she came out and I see her, she's on the phone and she looks and she's like, I knew there's your big mouth in here. It just made it even funnier.
Yeah,
But
exactly.
yeah, I mean, when comedies, you don't have to just be a comic when you're on stage. You kind of have to be a comic forever because, that's how you attract people to you.
Right, right. Yeah,
So
that's what I do. I do the same thing, and I understand exactly where you're coming from with that. It's your whole persona is actually every character you had growing up. That's what I
everyone,
make fun.
yep,
Yeah, exactly.
everyone. It doesn't matter. I mean, I definitely draw on a lot of it because I'm a very shy, quiet person, and I'm not really very talkative. Like when you meet me, like I might have resting bitch face on. Like I actually have to like remind myself to smile. Otherwise, like I'll look like a fucking bitch, but I'm not. Like I'm usually thinking about like happy thoughts, but I don't. It's just a Tinsley face. I don't know.
Oh
But I
wow.
actually have to remind myself, smile. Like every 2 seconds, I'm like, I should have an alarm set that just has like beeps and like, oh, like so. So I try to just keep it, with that, you know. Let me see if
Yeah,
any
I
other
hear you.
questions. Have you ever been heckled before? Well, you said that you had the audience be very quiet.
Yeah, I had the audience be very quiet. I was heckled one time, and like I'm good at a comeback. So when the guy heckled me, it's so funny. I remember exactly what he said. He's like, oh yeah, you the only he said you like dumb and ugly. You like dumb ugly chicks. I said yes, I do. But I was like, yes, I do. What time is your mother bus coming again?
Oh God, that's a
And
good
it was,
one. He did that.
yeah, yeah. It was just, and the guy was just so quiet. And then after that, he actually went up to the bar where I was at, and he bought me a drink. It was funny though. Yeah,
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 sometimes hecklers can be cool, if it works out well. If you know how
yeah.
to handle it, I kind of feel like if I ever got heckled, I would definitely be able to have comebacks.
Okay.
At least I hope I would definitely would not stand there frozen up and just let somebody just like ruin my shit.
No.
So I was just kind of like whatever. Um, I don't know. I mean, it's crazy. Do you have a favorite club that you like to perform in?
I like the comic strip in Queens. That's like one of my favorite clubs.
I've never been there.
You gotta go. It's a nice little club. It's actually like in the middle of nowhere, like where the train trestles is and everything. It's a nice little club. And
Okay.
then I was doing after that, I would do karaoke shout. And like one of the guys that owners is really cool with me. And he let me host for a while. I was doing like every Saturday, I was doing karaoke shout, and I loved it. After a while, I kind of got tired of it because you got the same people coming back singing the same songs, and it was like,
Well, that's like an open mic. You got the same comics coming back doing it. So you've actually done comedy for stuff like that, like
No,
opening up.
I was just actually the host. So I would host the song and I would make fun of the people and I would sing a little part of my favorite song with them. It was just like more interactive. It was a lot of fun.
I
And
like
then
that. I
it
opened
got
up
boring after a while though. It got
yeah.
boring kind of fast.
Yeah, but that's cool though, I think. Like that's, I opened up for drag shows.
Okay.
Actually, one of my favorite drag queens just moved into the apartment on the other side of my house. So I'm really excited now to have somebody like here. But she put me on like one of my very first drag shows, and
Okay.
I did some open comedy. I thought, okay, yeah, I'll do 5 minutes, whatever. Yeah, no, that's why I said always be prepared because I was doing like 15, 20 minutes while they're back there getting their fucking hair and makeup on, and I'm out there like trying to tell jokes in front of all these people, and I'm just like, finally, at like the 15-minute mark, she's like, okay, okay, and I'm like, oh, thank God, because I was really running out of steam. Like it was really just getting like 15 minutes. I was definitely not prepared for, but I pulled it off. So,
Yeah, like you start to like just grab stuff out the air sometime, and when you see like
yeah.
the longest I ever did was like 10 minutes. I never went beyond that mark.
Well, get ready because when I call on you to do a show, it is not just a regular comedy show, it is a production. There are
Okay.
some things that, I mean, because I definitely, going forward, I definitely want to incorporate burlesque dancers, drag
Oh, you want to go
comedy
all out.
musicians. Yeah, because I feel like the audience should never, like, if I'm going to take you on a ride, I'm going to give you experience. I want to take you on a ride and give because there's so many performances out there. And I
Right.
feel like if you can combine it and consistently entertain an audience, they'll always come back for more. So
Okay.
I like that. Even now with the technology we have now, why can't I Skype in or Zoom in a comic that lives in another state and let somebody experience something, you know what I mean, and just throw them some cash. You know what I mean? You're
Okay.
getting yourself there's ways of using technology. It's ridiculous that we're not doing that. And I'm so glad that this actually kind of happened because it opens the door to open people's minds to say, okay, their comedy's not dead. We can do things. You just have to get used to it. I mean,
Right.
God, hello, like rooftop. I mean, oh God, when I was in Brooklyn, we used to do rooftop comedy shows. We used to have like there
Wow.
used to be a bunch of comics that would come up and they would actually get up on our roof, and like I miss those days. I really miss those days. Like they would come up on our roof, we'd all get drunk and just kind of hang out up there, and the comics would get up there. The rappers would say nobody said shit. Like it was like in the middle of 65th Street in Bensonhurst. I loved it. I miss those days. I should come back.
Wow. Yeah, that seems
Somebody
like
kicked
that
his
was
ass out. Oh, it was dope because people like the city is just a completely different vibe. But Long Island's cool too. You can have your backyard barbecue comedy shows where you could have 30 people outside. Like open your fucking minds, people. Like there's ways of doing things. We can still have comedy shows where it's not necessarily in the club. Hire that bartender for the night that you knew that was working. I know a bartender personally that you knew that come to a backyard, throw a party. Everyone's sitting around the pool. Everybody's distancing themselves. You're still talking. There are ways of doing comedy and making money and continuing to get your name out there for right now. So
yeah.
going forward, that's what I'm going to be doing. So be ready because
Okay, yeah. Like I said, like what's something valuable that like a comic or somebody ever told you, like that stuck with you?
huh. Oh boy. I want to say the one thing that I thought that somebody told me was that there's no friends in comedy.
Mhm.
But I feel like that's bullshit. I
Okay.
feel like there's people that will be your friend because they want something, and I feel like sorry,
I see the cat.
he's crazy. He's
Oh.
insane. He's getting ready to do something. That's why his name's Yang Yang. Um, I want to say that they say that, like, like there's no, actually, no. The one thing that somebody told me in comedy that will forever stick with me forever, and she was 100% right, is there's no such thing as a comedy contest. Two people told me that. Two amazing women told me that, and I believe it 100%. There is no such thing as a comedy contest, and they were very right. So that's the one thing.
Okay,
There are
comedy
definitely such
contest
things.
competitions. Oh, okay, all right.
There's no such thing. They know who's going to win it. Right?
Wow,
Are you ready for the $1 million question? Because I know you got to get off to your podcast. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
And I know you've heard it before. You've heard this question before, so you probably are prepared.
Okay.
Let him, just in case he attacks me. He's not going to attack me.
That's funny though.
Do you have any animals?
Yeah, I have a dog. She's running around here somewhere. She's lazy, so she's running around sleeping somewhere.
Oh, of course. That's all he does is sleep now. Like I used
Okay.
to worry about him, like being home alone, but now
Cats are self-efficient though. Cats, I feel, can't wait for you to leave the house so they can do what
oh yeah,
cats do.
no.
Yeah.
He rips my clothes off the bed and he lies on them and rolls out. Like I was gone for 2 minutes. There's no reason for you to be having sex with my clothes while I'm gone. Like,
See, yeah, dogs are needy. Dogs want to meet you at the door. They come to
yeah,
you.
like
They
oh
want to go
God, thank
outside.
you.
Yeah, they're like, he's here again. Like, I'm like, oh no.
He's back because they forget about you as soon as you leave. Like, who was that?
Yeah.
What day of the week is it? And then you come back like,
Exactly.
oh,
My bowl is full. My water's in there. Yeah.
Would you stop? Because you're gonna break my stuff. Okay. So, which comic, famous or non-famous, would you take to bed, Antonio Clark? Let's hear it.
Tiffany Haddish.
Again, number two. Number two for Tiffany Haddish. I like that. I think it was Nigel that said that also.
Yeah, Tiffany Haddish. She's wild. She's crazy. I think she would be a cool combination. Yeah. She's crazy.
Are you sure she's straight though?
Yeah, I don't think so.
I think she might be.
Yeah. It would be either her or my old lady crush is Lunel. Lunel is my old lady crush.
Yeah. Okay.
So that would be my old lady crush. Yeah.
I like that. No, I don't think Tiffany Haddish is gay. I think that Tiffany I think I watched her recent Netflix, and I thought she was really funny. I thought she was very real and very relatable and just very different from a lot of other female comics that I had seen.
Yeah, the funny thing is, and it's a real quick story, is I was at the Paramount. It was 2018. It was December. Tracy Morgan was performing, and they brought me and another guy back to meet Tracy. And Tracy said one thing that sticks with me. He was like, whatever happens, leave everything out on the stage. And when you do another show, don't take it's all a new show. Leave that whatever happened back there, leave that shit back there. And I think that's what Tiffany Haddish did when she got booed that time and she forgot her whole set in Miami.
Yeah.
She came back and she left it all back there. And she
Don't ever let anything that happens on a stage get to you because
Right. That's what I learned. I used to let it get to me until after I met him and he said that. I was like, wow, I never let it bother me no more. If I had a bad show, it was a bad show. Next show is not going to be
is not going to be that way. You can't think that way. I mean, just because you jumped in the ocean one time, you got bit by a shark, doesn't mean that the next time you jump into the ocean, you're going to get bit by a shark unless you're bleeding. So
exactly.
Yeah. All right, man. So let's wrap it up. Thank you so much for coming on the show. It was nice meeting you. It was like talking to somebody that I've known for a really long time. And it's really cool that thank you so much for watching my show all the time. And thank you for remembering me.
It was a pleasure. It was a pleasure. Definitely a pleasure. I can't wait to meet you in person. Can't wait to see you out there.
Definitely will. And hit me up for that segment because I got a lot to say about these. Definitely tell your sister about me tonight and hit me up because I'm ready to pop off.
I got you. I got to make sure I mute my microphone on that one. That's going to be a male.
Oh, my God. No, it's not even anything against men in general. It's just some straight up facts that, listen, dudes, like, if these are things that you need to know because you haven't been taught. When a man hasn't been taught, it shows. And that's the problem. If no one ever sat him down and said, listen, this is how you talk to women, or this is what you do.
Right.
You can't really blame him. You can educate him, but you can't better blame him. There better be some cognac in that.
Yeah, that's rum and pineapple juice. It's two different rums in Malibu. Yeah, definitely.
Woo! I was drinking some coconut by water and vodka. If you ever get a chance to try that, it's
Ooh,
very good.
okay,
This stuff right here.
nice. Oh, okay. Well,
It's healthy for you too. Not the
oh, okay.
vodka, but the by water is very healthy.
Nothing like some healthy vodka.
All right, Antonio, it's been great talking to you. Thank you so much,
Definitely.
everybody, for watching In Bed with Comics. I believe next Tuesday, Cinco de Mayo, I'm going to have the very amazing, very funny Cara Amore on. So stay tuned for that.
Nice.
Send me the link for your podcast, and I will post it all over. And I think you're in my Creative Connections group, so definitely feel free to post that whenever you want. Or if you're not, something just running across my ceiling. If you're not in that group, I will definitely add you, and then you can post your podcast and let everyone listen to it. So cool.
Okay, cool. Thank
Hey,
you.
Antonio, it's been good talking to you.
Definitely good talking to you too.
All right, good night.
All right, good night.
Bye.
Bye.